Welcome to Off the Clock. I'm Kelle, hairstylist, creative, faith-filled, and figuring it out. This is where we talk purpose, pivots, and pressure no one posed. No highlight reels, just the real in between. Let's get into it. This episode of Off the Clock is brought to you by our great friends at Kelle, the complete salon. The ones keeping the girls laid, not stressed. Whether you're overdue for a trim or need you a nice cut in color or a full-blown soft life install, Kelle, the complete salon, is here to remind you this is where healthy hair lives. Tap the link in the show notes to book your next appointment and tell them Off the Clock sent you. Welcome back to Off the Clock. I'm Kelle, and this is episode 1. FM. Let me reintroduce myself. So, hey, I am Kelle, and this is Off the Clock, the podcast I didn't know I needed until I created it. What's up, y'all? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I finally have this space to talk to y'all. It feels surreal to actually be sitting right here and putting this out. Like, I'm recording, and I'm about to give y'all my baby. Like, this is my baby. So, hey, thank you for being here. So, I know y'all probably like, boom, what is Off the Clock? Kelle, tell me why I'm here. Tell us what we gonna get. What's gonna happen, mama? Okay, immediately. What is Off the Clock? Off the Clock is a space that I created because I wear a lot of hats. Like I told y'all, I literally created Off the Clock because I was thinking about the breath that I needed in between all the titles that I wear. It is so crucial to be able to sit back, celebrate your wins, reevaluate what works, and then also to just woosah. So I felt like that's what Off the Clock was going to be. And I thought that, of course, yes, y'all keep asking me, am I going to have y'all favorite creatives on here? What exactly is that going to look like? How is the platform going to be used? Stick around so you can find out, but just a little bit. I believe after the first 5 episodes, we are going to have, of course, still free episodes that come out every single week. But once you are a subscriber, you will get access to these episodes a little bit earlier. So that will be us starting our community. So I have to let you know that. Yeah, stay tuned. This also was a audio journal for me, somewhere between a voice memo and a soft place to land. Being for real, I'm like, do I want to open myself up to the ridicule or maybe the opinions that I may get, not even judgment or even negative connotation with the feedback that I'm going to receive, but am I ready to open myself up to that? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And I felt like this was for me, regardless of what type of feedback may come. I know that this was something that was hugely supported, and it was given so much love in the beginning that I had amazing hopes for it. So I am super excited to dive into Off the Clock. I have to let y'all know that this show was not about being perfect. It's simply about being present. I knew when creating this that it was going to be some things that, I'm just starting off with the podcast, and I am Miss Producer, Editor, Marketer, Product, and everything. And so I knew simply from that, the execution itself wasn't going to be seamless, but it was going to be the best of my work, And so I decided that I was going to give myself space to breathe in between the posts I make on TikTok, the posts I make on Instagram, X, and Threads, and all of the things, Ditto, and every single social media app you could think of, Lemonade. I was on it. And so I'm like, I need this space to just ooh. So after realizing that I needed to figure a few things out and I wanted to do it out loud, I created Off the Clock. Now, this is, how I really check in with myself. Truly, I will go all week and I'll just record. I will just record because I want it to be raw. I want it to be me, who I am off the clock, but of course still with a lot of poise and grace. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted it to still be something that's not just cookie crunch and cookie cutter and cookie crunch and just all the things that were just all polished that I put out. Everything that I put out be curated content. I am looking at it 1,000 times. I am making sure that things are in place where I want it to be. I'm making sure that I have the right captions, and I'm making sure that it's going to the right audiences and the right hashtags. I just wanted something that I'm like, okay, I'm saying it, I'm editing it, and I'm putting it out. No shade. So this is where I'm about to get into the real, and I guess our first real topics that we talk about here on Off the Clock. So what led to my burnout and my silence? Truly, I was grieving. I was shifting, and for the first time, I had to depend on myself. Not to keep it together for others and truly decide what my relationship with God looked like on my own terms. So that was a lot. Like, that was, I want to say, the most pivotal thing that was going on in my life, simply because I'm navigating my 20s, and I already was feeling like I am out of time. So I felt like I was racing against the clock with myself. And so feeling like, or being in the midst of that shift and depending on myself, not to keep it together for others, babe, it was hard, because I was always used to being like, you can cry at home, but you cannot fall, like, you have to keep it together for everybody else around you. But no, this was the first time I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. Like, I can't talk. I actually am not posting that, so I won't be able to accept this brand deal. And yeah, close my books. Like, I'm like, no, like, I need time. I need time to myself. Also, too, like, realizing a lot of harsh lessons with family and friends while being away and moving out of state, like, that was hard. Normally, I go running to my mom, and that's like my confidant. So I'm like, I can't do that no more. Like, you're a big girl. And of course I can. Like, my mom is a phone call away, for real. And I know that always. But it was about being able to depend on the woman that you want to become and the values that you're going to set for yourself going forward. So even now, like, it's situations that I'm handling with so much intentionality because of what I experienced before, how willy-nilly I was going about my relationships before, with family, with friends, with my girlfriend, with God. And I made sure that I really was, like I said, intentional. And that's what, like, truly helped me get out of my burnout. But while I was in the midst of shifting, like, to speak to my relationship with God on my own terms, I was referencing how, like, I grew up in church. Everybody noticed I grew up in church, baby. At 5, LaFonya had me filled with the Holy Spirit. Well, she didn't have me filled. I was filled with the Holy Spirit, but I was in the space where that was even allowed, and those were the conversations we were having. I was in church, y'all. I was in church on Thursdays for I think, choir rehearsal. Then I had praise dance rehearsal. Then I had to go because my mama was an overseer. So then she got meetings. That's on Monday. So we had church Monday, Thursday, Saturday if it's an outreach, and Sunday for church for both services, and an extra service if it's at a guest church. Amen. So I felt like I knew God was in me. But really, like, he's always been in me. He still is. I had to lean in and really make that relationship expand on my own. So to dive into that a little bit deeper, like, the quiet time that I have now is nothing like the quiet time I was having back in Richmond. Like, I was like, oh, thank you, Lord, for waking me up this morning. Thank you so much. But the things and the things that we talk about, the promises that he's keeping, the restoration that is happening in the conversations that I have with God now, I didn't even know I needed until I was more intentional. Until I realized one day that he said he will turn away from you. And that is scary. Oh, honey, that is scary to think about the Lord turning away from me. Babe, that was scary. And to know, like, everything else, you done tried everything else, mama. What else? What else? What are you gonna do? What else? You done called everybody? You didn't call, like, don't get me wrong. I have support if I want to have support, but it was something about trusting God. And that alone developed character. Like, that developed so much character because it was like, okay, God, I'm good at this and I'm good at that, but what exactly am I about to do here? And I'm like, like, life is just coming one day at a time, and I'm just trying to figure it out. And that caused me to go crazy. But then I realized that this is what faith looks like. This is what faith looks like. And this is what you want to have from me. Okay, you want me to realize that you've been running towards me this whole time. You've been So, yeah, like, I had to come to that on my own. Like, my mom always taught me that. My mom always told me to go to prayer first. My mom she always planted the seed of my relationship with God. But yeah, like it was on me to water it. Just like with anything else, they say train up a child in the way they should go, but it's literally on them to do what they need to do to sustain the seeds that you planted in them. When I knew I missed my voice, I started to build my brand on TikTok. And somewhere in trying to be consistent, I realized I didn't recognize the sound of me anymore. Like, my videos were going from what genuinely just made me happy and what I would just come on the internet to do. Like, what I thought was funny. And that would have virality. But to me, trying to shape my content in the moments that were viral and just becoming a robot to society. Like, oh, who raised you? Okay, I'm sorry. Like, it just was like, babe, this isn't you. Like, I started to just, like I said, shape my videos around the things that were working for me. And that's great when you're trying to just, I don't know, make the money. But for me, just like now, I know Off the Clock is going to be huge. Not because of a guru or I have the best marketing tactics. Simply because it's something that I am passionate about. And big in definition is what me and God talked about. That's why, like, virality. Let's vibe for a second. This episode is sponsored by Love is Lit, the candle company that said healing is sacred, but let it smell sexy. Whether your vibe is deep conditioning and boundaries or I'm journaling and minding my business, these candles were made for soft resets in real life. Hand-poured, toxin-free, and emotionally supportive because love is lit, and your apartment should be too. Tap the link in the show notes and use the code OFFTHECLOCK for a little treat. Go ahead, light one. You earned it. It's a mean drug, in my opinion, simply because it'll allow you to chase something that you don't even know. Like, what are you chasing, babe? You want engagement, but at what cost? You know? And so I realized that was no longer Kelle. That was Call Me Kelle, who was on TikTok trying to gain followers. And after that, did none work. Oh, your favorite influencer would never tell you. Your favorite influencer would never tell you. No, they wouldn't. But guess what? I feel like somebody who I really admire, and it's not that it wasn't working. She's just that is somebody who I feel like really maximizes their entire self in every way. I think her name is Nilla or something like that on TikTok. But I honestly feel like she really maximizes her brand from the top to the bottom. From everything she does, like her music, she uses TikTok in the right ways, like the sound she uses, the way she's able to kind of market the things she does. It's beautiful. It's amazing. I commend her. And so I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do it with me in mind. I'm going to do it with the intention of the pillars that I had for my brand that I originally set, and I'm going to carry it out that way. So I'm like, I can't do it like this. I can't do it like this. And I love that though. Like it took a minute for me to get there, and I stopped posting for a while, but I started to realize just because it worked for me didn't mean it was for me. Like, and I feel like every time when you're making content, they tell you that if it works for you, go with it. Go with it. Now you're going with it and you're unhappy 50 years from, not even 50 years. And I love Justine. I love her down boots because she is the one who got the girls into editing. So snaps for the queen. But look at Justine. Justine literally said that she was having a burnout and she didn't realize, she realized that her voice didn't matter in her brand anymore when she said she needed a break because these brands wanted what? Deliverables. And so, no, I love the platform that she's made. And I love the example that she set for Black women to show you that you can clearly attain this platform and you can also be a badass at editing and have all the things that they're looking for and get paid what you want to get paid. But she also said, y'all are not about to play with me. And I'm also about to use the same platform that I used to get these brands to let these brands know I need a break. And I'm going to listen to me, the creator, the content creator, the product that you want to actually produce you content. Like, you want me to produce content that my followers and people in my community are going to receive well. And how can they do that if I am tired or I want to celebrate my birthday? I can't even be internally happy, but then get around, like I said, to just be that person for everybody else. And it's like, no. Feeling like everybody's go-to person, but no one to yourself is huge. Shouts out to Justine for being able to use her platform in that way and advocate for herself. Like, you go, girl. I love that for you. I know for me, feeling like everybody's go-to person and being no one to myself was big. And I had to realize we need to pivot. I realized I created that dynamic though. I liked being needed. It made me feel valuable in a sense that it made me disappear in my own life. Like, I can escape from Kelle's problems because I am Dr. Phil and Oprah to literally about everybody in my life. And I'm figuring it out. Or I'm real estate, or I'm this, like, or I'm life coach, or I'm like, it was just so easy to be like, I don't have to worry about what Kelle has going on. And so I did that a lot of the times. Like, I didn't even give myself the space to fill my cup back up. Like, I literally lived in the moments where my friends would call me and be like, okay, Kelle, so what do we do? And like, I'm like, okay, girl, like, I got the plan. And then hang up and be sitting right here for 20 minutes trying to figure out, what do I want to do next? Like, okay, what's next with the brand? Like, what's next with this? But I could give somebody the exact same thing that they call me for 20 minutes with no time to think, just on the spot. And so I'm like, this isn't healthy. This is not good. Like, you need to have a space in where you're pouring back into you. So I created a schedule for myself where I do the things that make me happy. I hope that makes sense, but like, I do. My morning routine makes me happy. My night routine makes me happy. My midday routine makes me happy. And let me tell you what it is. So I'll give you a little bit into what it is. So for the morning, I like really soft mornings. I love soft mornings. I don't like loud mornings. Please don't be making all that noise in the morning. So I literally have it set up as to where instead of doing my quiet time in the living room, I'll come in my office and do my quiet time instead of doing it in the bed because that's convenient. I'll do it in my office because it's like, I like that privacy that you get to have with God. Like, and don't get me wrong, you should be able to be your fullest self in your home, around your partner, and all of the things. And of course I am, but I feel like that's my moment to even give him honor and be like, this is for you, you know? And so that's where, I realized if you don't have anything, if you're not pouring into yourself, you don't have anything to pour into anybody else. And simply what you're giving them is hot air. Hot air. So I was tired of giving people hot air because I'm not a balloon. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry. But for real, the moments like this, like they made me sit down and realize, like, where am I in all of this? Like, being praised for my strength, but low key, like, unraveling. Are we okay, mama? Like, somebody call 911 for real. Like, it was to the point where I'm like showing up whole, but sad as I don't know what. And it's just like, that was so unhealthy. When was I going to, say enough was enough? And I'm glad that I did. It just was like, looking at it now is like, wow, babe. Wow. But the grace that you give yourself, like, people loving my content, but still feeling disconnected from it was such a huge toll to take. Simply because I'm like putting it out and I'm like, oh, they love it. But like, I'm looking at it like, you don't even want to do that after you posted it. Like, why did you put that out? Like, and then don't let it get good engagement. Oh, perfect. It's good for the brand. But like, what's good? Like I said, what's always good for you is not good for you, if that makes sense. And so I had a lot of noise and not a lot of clarity. And I found solace in that. Instead of sulking, I leaned into it. Like, okay, so you're 23 and you realize your life needs to change. You're not that far off, babe. Like, I had to find solace in it because I was beating myself up. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. I was beating myself up because, one, I wasn't even comparing myself to the people around me. I was comparing myself to the life that I had built for myself. Bump the life that my parents set for me. The standard of living I had set for myself and just the things in which I wanted to achieve. I'm just beating myself up because I didn't consider life showing up. Like, I never considered life showing up and realizing that, okay, you don't just still do, like, you can still do what you want to do when life shows up, of course, because that's what I'm learning now, pivot. Like, you are Miss Pivot. However, like, I just would take it on so heavy and wear it. So I got clarity. I literally hope that y'all loved that. This was very therapeutic for me. I can't believe I sat here and yapped with y'all. Like, this felt really good. I was nervous a little bit. I know y'all probably like, what? If you know me, it's like Kelle, nervous, what? But yes, just a tad bit. Just a tad bit. I love y'all. I thank y'all for coming to this space that I created, and I can't wait to see the community that we have. So, clearly this is where I tell the truth in public. What you can expect are solo episodes like this one, conversations about pivoting, purpose, pressure, and peace, faith and business talk, but, through a real life lens, occasional guests, voice notes, money, sods, resets, and you're probably like, who is this for? Women in the middle, the almost there but not quite yet girls, the ones who are healing and helping, growing and grieving, building and breaking all at once. This is your space too. Drop me a question, send a story, or just listen and know that you're not the only one figuring it out. Thank you. You've officially been off the clock. If it hit, if it helped, or if it held you, share it. I'll see you next Tuesday. And if you're just that crazy, I'll even give you a journal prompt so we can talk about it next week. Here it is. What part of myself have I been ignoring just to keep going? Next Tuesday, we're talking about the moment I realized I hadn't seen myself in months and what happened when she came back loud. See you then.